Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls out there. For this pandemic season of COVID-19, that's why I have my face mask. Allow me kindly, I remove my face mask so that we can learn together and my voice reaches you clearly. Thank you so much. Hello, ladies and gentlemen out there, boys and girls. It's another beautiful day, Wednesday of this week at UBC Star TV. On SOMI program that we are going to learn mathematics. At the beginning, this is the beauty of mathematics. Your teacher of mathematics, Nwagaba Jerome Havard, and I'm here to share with you today's lesson. Check out if you have your colleague or your friend out there as we are doing our introduction. Tell your colleague, tell your friend that the beauty of mathematics is just back on Wednesday at 11 a.m. and gather. But remember, COVID-19 is real and has taken most of our friends. Observe the government guidelines so that we can overcome the pandemic. At this moment, I know you have settled down, get your writing materials. You can have set instruments, especially the long ruler, the pencil. You can have a pen and just gather down and we share today's lesson. It is mathematics back. Remember, we are doing it in a simplified and interesting way. Tell your neighbor that the lesson has just started. Thank you so much, the management UBC Star TV, for this great opportunity rendered to the nation in this pandemic season. Learning is anytime, learning is anywhere. At this moment, tune on and stay on. At the moment, if the program is done, keep on watching more educative programs on the Star TV with more presenters here. I would take you that, would you have to learn with us? Are you in pre-primary or you have a child in pre-primary, primary school, you have in secondary school? My friend, could you want to join our adult education? It's just a wonderful online solution education app, Prime Learn. Just go to your Google Play Store, download www.prime-learn.com. Just go to your Google Play Store, download the Prime Learn app, register with us, and just get started in pre-primary, primary, secondary, and adult education. It's just interesting that the lessons are organized by the experts of education in Uganda. Thank you so much, the brains behind the Prime Learn app. If you want to know more about the Prime Learn and you want to share with me more of the mathematical, concrete, conceptual ideas, I have my contacts on board. For MTN, you call me, just 0779 135561. Then for Airtel, 0706 410704. Those are my lines, personal numbers. Just after the lesson, take a clear photo of the work, ask other mathematical questions with me, and we shall keep learning time after time. For this moment, allow me please, we switch to our today's lesson. Very simple and interesting. Remember, at the end of every lesson, we have a lesson exercise to check out what we have learned and you practice more. At the moment, I'll just remind you that last time we looked at mathematical statements. Before I leave here, I will look at addition mathematical statement, but now we are remaining with subtraction mathematical statements. Can you guess out what? It's all about playing with the signs, the mathematical signs. At the moment, we have very many operations in mathematics. You can guess them out. One is addition. We have subtraction. We have division. And lastly, we have multiplication. But can you guess out that integers also are done through those operation signs in mathematics? But today, we are going to specifically look at just two, addition and subtraction. I hope now you're settled and relaxed. We learn together. At the moment, we're going to look at addition and subtraction of integers. Remember, our topic is integers, the second last topic. But for today, I want just to say bye to the topic and we switch to algebra. Don't miss out when we come next week. So at the moment, we have our topic. We're going to discuss about addition. We are going to talk about addition and subtraction of integers. Remember, we described what integers are. So integers, we said they are both negative and positives. And we have 0, which is neither a positive nor a negative. I hope at the moment you can list a set of negative integers. And again, you can list a set of positive integers. And at the moment, I said a sign, an integer with or without a sign, we can describe it in a way that a number with a negative integer, like negative 2, so this one becomes a negative integer. Then a number with a positive integer, we call them positive integers because they have the positive sign. And we said, if you meet a number like 7, so a number with or without a sign automatically becomes our positive integer. So at the moment, we can switch direct to our today's learning. We are saying addition and subtraction of integers. Let's take a look at number 1. We can say positive 2 plus positive 4. Remember, we can add integers using a number line, and we can add integers without a number line. But for today's lesson, let's combine our operation signs, addition and subtraction, without a number line. Remember last time we looked at the additional mathematical statements with a number line. For today, let's look at how they add and subtract integers without a number line. But before we end our lesson, we can also involve a number line at the moment. So we can have positive 2 plus positive 4. How do we add positives? We said numbers with or without a positive sign, those are positive integers. So at the moment, we have the positives. What we can do, we check on our side work of the work, and we say we shall have the negative side and we shall have the positive side. Then you draw your smart line like this. So we shall check out and see, do we really have the negatives? If no, we shall see, where do we fill this table? They are just a step that we need to follow, and we say that a negative. times a negative, we shall get a positive. So when we get a positive sign, that means we shall have a negative sign times a negative sign. We shall come up with a positive sign. Then this time we shall have. But if we have a negative times a positive, what shall we get? We shall get negative. Then lastly, we shall have a positive times a negative, which will also give us a negative. So we shall base on this so that we can generate our answers. So at the moment, we shall have our next step. Before we fill this, we shall have positive 2, then plus positive 4. Then we regroup the last integer with its sign. So regroup, or just put into the brackets the last integer on our right with its sign. Then we carry out these operations so that we can fill our table here. Take a look. We shall say the first integer will remain positive 2. Then positive times a positive. Do we have it here? We can also include it, that positive times positive, we shall remain with a positive. So meaning I will have this one times this one, which will remain a positive, then 4. I will finally have, this is a positive and this is also a positive. So meaning I will fill the column of positives. I will have 2, 1, 2, then 4. 1, 2, 3, then 4. This is my table. Then I count them. All of them are positives, and I will have my answer finally as a positive integer. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Meaning positive 2 plus, I will have 6. But remember, they are positives. I will say positive 6. I hope you're doing together. Let's look at our next example and we follow this idea. At the moment, when you add positives plus other positives, you get your answer as positive integers. Thank you for learning with me in that simplified way. Let's check out what if we have some mixed signs in the number given to you. We are writing example 2 and we say negative 3 plus negative 3. I can not know the answer at the moment, but I can follow the steps. I say the first step is to group the last integer on the right with its sign. We group, or we put into the brackets, the last integer with its sign. Then we carry out the operations. We shall have negative 3 plus negative 3. I will put brackets, the last number or the last digit, the last number on the right with its sign. It has a negative sign. Then the next step would be, it will remain minus 3, or which we call negative 3. Then positive and negative, I come back to my guiding table here. Look, it will say positive times negative. I look for where it is. Positive times a negative. I will get a negative. So I will have the product of positive and negative as negative 3, which would equal to, you can look at this, negative 3 minus 3. I draw this. I will have, for this one, I have negative. Then I will draw this, I will say positive. Take a look at these. These are not positives. I have negative 3. I will write in this side, 1, 2, 3. Then take a look at this. Also, this is negative 3. I will also continue to write this side. 1, 2, 3. I have not written the side or in the column of positives. So what should I do? I would just say, I would count them. How many negatives are they? Which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will have my answer as 6. But guess out, would it be a positive or a negative? It is in the negative side, meaning these are negative 6. We can proceed. I hope we shall be able to attempt the exercise in a simpler way. Remember, we are not using a number line. At the moment, we can proceed to number 3. I have my question number 3. Remember, the question would be simplify, work out. I can say another one would be positive 3. Then I can say positive 3 minus 5. Before, keep noting out the steps that I go through for every number. At the moment, please, just before you answer this question, you can't know the answer to this process. I said you can rewrite it because this is a question which would be positive 3 minus 5. So this would be the first step. I've just rewritten the statement so it is similar to the question. The reason is I'm going to group or to put into the brackets the last digit or the last number with its sign. Don't forget to group it with its sign. I hope you have done it according to these steps. So what I will do, I will see the digit is this one, then with its sign, I group it. Then there, I will be able to go to the next step. For the first integer, please, just let it remain the way it is. I will say positive 3. Take a look. I have a negative and another negative, but in the brackets. Then I will refer to my guiding tool here, which I will be doing on every number. I will come and say I have a negative and another negative. Where will I get them? I will have a negative with a negative. What could be the product of a negative sign and a negative sign? We said a negative times a negative, we shall come up with a positive. Look, this is a negative times a negative. So I will come up with a positive. So it will be positive 5. And I've come up with that. So can we proceed and we see? I will now have to come and draw this. Where can I draw mine? I would say negative. We can proceed and have them the same column on the side. I will come and say negative, then the positives. I hope at home you're just using a ruler so that you have your best and nice work. So at the moment I have positive 3. I will go to the positive side. I write 1, 2, 3. Then I'm done. Look at this. These are also 5 positives. Where should I add them? I will add them to the positive side, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. But they are in the same column of the positive side. So what should we do? I would just automatically come and say, at the moment, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 as my answer. But 8 what? We have negatives and positives. When you look at this, what could be my sign? I can decide to put the sign or not, because any integer without a sign is a positive integer. But at the moment, I can say they are positives. And this is my answer. Then, we can now proceed and look at question 4. Take note of the changes in the signs. We are changing signs. We started with positives. We have come into the negatives. And after now, we are going to a different one. I can say at the moment that -4 minus +9. I hope we have written this and we can share now. So we have -4 and +9. Remember, we have our procedures that we go through before we can answer these questions. The first step is to rewrite my statement. When I rewrite, that means I will write it again. So I will have -4 minus +9. As I'm going to do the first operation, what could it be? Check out the last digit. I hope now you can do it with me. Grouping it. Group the last digit. So group the last digit with its sign. I can do it with you. So this is what I mean. That group it. So after grouping it, what could be the next step? The next step is to write the procedure that comes next, which is on the product form. I will have the first integer remains the same, -4. Then negative times a positive. Can you guess out on our guiding tool here? We shall say negative times a positive. I may not know, but you come and say negative times a positive. So the product of a negative and a positive, what will I get? I will automatically come up with a negative. Then 9. I hope when we reach this step, at the shop, they are demanding you, or if you are going at school, they are demanding you at the gate that requirements, you have not brought 4 pens. And in second term too, you don't bring 9 pens. So when they add them in third term, they will ask you to bring how many pens. At the moment, this is a date, and also this is a date. Take a look at how I'm going to do it. When I have this, automatically, after removing the 2 signs, I will automatically draw my side work here, and I put the negatives and the positives columns. So the first one, I would say, for this one, I will have negatives. Then I will have the positives. So take a look and observe. The first integer must be written the way it is. Automatically, these are -4. So these, I'm going to write them the way they just look. This would be in the side of negatives. 1, 2, 3, and 4. But remember, when you look at digit 9 is also in the same form like the first integer, which will be -9. What you do is to add those -9 down the first one so that we get the total of those negatives. I will proceed and I say these were 4. Then I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On the side of the negatives, I hope you have already guessed out what the answer will look like. At the moment, we can count them. So I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Please, you are free. To be accurate, it needs patience. So you need to be patient enough that you can even count from 0 to any whole number that comes across. Don't rush to give out wrong answers. Please do it in the simplest way and be patient the way I'm doing it. So I've counted 13. And after counting, count it again as the tips of making mathematics simpler. Count first, recount. If possible, I know you have time now, recount so that you count 3 times and confirm. At the moment, I've counted 13. So I will have 13. But guess out, what am I counting? I've been counting on the side of the negatives. So meaning my answer finally would be negative. So I will have my answer finally as negative 13. So next, we shall proceed to give more and more examples. So we are on example 4, but when you observe, I'm changing the signs. Here we have negative, negative, here we have negative and positive. Let's proceed and look at other examples that keep changing the signs. Keep getting the strategies, and the procedure is just one. So we can look at example 5. Example 5, I would say positive 2 minus 5. Take a look at this example. At the moment, I said, when you are given this question, you are just free to rewrite the statement so that you can work out the operations very well. The first step is to rewrite the statement, which is positive 2 minus 5. Why do I have to rewrite this? To put the first operation. So the first operation, I said, observe the last digit or digits with its or their sign respectively. At the moment, I'm dealing with one or a single digit. So I will look at the last digit, which is 5, with its sign, which is a negative. At the moment, please, I will have negative 5 as my last digit with its sign. So I will have to regroup. I said we shall group it with its sign as we have been doing from the first examples. So group them, group the last digit with its sign. Then I hope you're done with this. Now we can proceed and look at the next guiding tool. So I will say the first integer. I said the first integer should remain with its sign so that we can work out the next operation. At the moment, we shall have positive 2. Then as I write the next sign, would it be a negative or it would be a positive? From the examples we have just done, I hope you can guess out. It can either be a positive or a negative, but I would not just guess. Let's follow the guiding tool here. I have a negative and another negative. What could be the product of a negative and a negative? So I said a negative times a negative, we shall come up with a product of a positive. Take note that a negative times a negative sign, we shall have a positive sign. So I will come and say negative times negative, which would be positive 5. Then from there, that's the main crucial part. Then we can proceed and we work out our final answer. Before we go to our final answer, let's not rush. Go to your side work and check out. Since we are dealing with positives and negatives, shall have positives. Then we can have the negatives. Then from there, we shall have the first integer. Those are the positives. So I would first write them in the column of positives, which would be 1, 2. Then from there, I have 5. We are adding 5. I said any integer without a sign is a positive integer. So meaning I will write in the column of the positives. So I will say there are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. So I don't have negatives. And finally, we said to be accurate, look at the side you are adding the integers and count them, if possible, 3 times to be perfect. And don't forget the sign. So I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My final answer would be 7. But 7, could it be a negative or a positive? Even when you don't put a sign, any integer without a sign is a positive integer. But at the moment, since we are adding from positive side, I can say my answer would be positive 7. As we look at our question number 6, remember our questions are just direct workout. Simplify if we are not using a number line, as we did last time. Let's take a look at question 6. We shall have -4 minus 7. This is just, would seem difficult, but it's just simple and interesting. Let's look at how we can play with such integers. Remember, in my lesson, I'm just dealing with single integers or single digit integers or the single digit numbers. But remember, we are using addition and subtraction. When we go to other classes like primary 7, at the moment, we are only dealing with addition and subtraction. When we go to P7, we shall look at division and multiplication on both a number line and without a number line. But for today, let's specifically look at addition and subtraction. So we have our question, simplify or work out -4 minus -7. Could you guess out how to represent this one on a number line? If you want more of these lessons, I will give one of the questions in an exercise so that you will be able to interact and share more. Have you ever seen number line with where all the integers start from 0 and finally we come up with the answer? We shall take a look at those. At this time, we have this number can be represented on a number line, or we can work out the question without a number line. Let's take a look at this. Remember the procedures. We said to be simple and systematic. Let's have the question written again. We can say this would be -4 minus 7. And at the moment, our first step is done. Then the next procedure or the step is that look at the last digit on your right hand side. There will be a digit. They can be 2, they can be 3, they can be even million digits, but at the moment I'm dealing with a single digit integer. So what you're going to do, look at the last digit on your right hand side, group it with its sign. What do I mean? I'm saying the last digit on my right hand side is 7. Then its sign is a negative. Then what you do is to group them. The digit or the digits with the sign. Group them like how I've done. So I said the first procedure is get the first integer, let it remain the way it is with its sign. Then let's work out on the operation of the second integer. At the moment, we shall have the last integer. Of course, we have the digit with the sign. So I will call it the last integer with the sign. But previously we have been following that. Get the last digit or the digits on your right hand side and check out what could be the sign for that integer or those integers or those digits. So I will have 7, and that digit 7 has the sign which is a negative, and group them. So after grouping them, I hope we can proceed to another step. Proceed with me. I would say -4, as we say that the first integer, let the first integer remain the same way because we are adding or subtracting on the first integer. So at the moment, we can have negative and a negative, and we look for their product. What could that be? When after grouping them, we shall have a negative times a negative. What do we come up with? Get them in the mind and say them time after time. You will get them. So I have my guiding step or my guiding tool or the procedure about these integers. When I have a negative times a negative, we come up with a positive sign. When we get a negative sign times a positive sign, we come up with a negative sign. Then again, we said if we have a positive sign times a negative sign, we come up with a negative sign. And finally, we said that if we have a positive sign times a positive sign, I hope automatically you can see we shall remain with a positive sign. So keep memorizing them during the lesson, and after the lesson, you will get them and you'll be like me. Just do it in a fun way out there with your colleagues. Share with them, interact. Ask them a negative sign times a negative sign. What do we get? They will automatically give you the answer in a play way. Mathematics would be just simplified for you. Let's proceed, and we have -4. So therefore we have here a negative times another negative. What do you think will come out? I will have to come back here and I say negative times a negative. I will get a positive. Therefore, here I will write my positive sign. Then I will have now the last integer. From there, I will proceed and have -4 plus 7. What would come out? Will this come up as 11 negatives or 11 positives? But I said we don't need to rush. Let's confirm from our guiding tools. I will say these are negatives. Then these would be the positives. Then from there, I will just ask myself, what is the sign of the first integer? That is -4. Where should I write the negatives? I look for the side where I should write them. I will have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'll ask myself, remember this is addition and the last integer has no sign. And we said any integer without a sign is a positive integer. So therefore, means these are 7 positives. I will write 7 in the column of the positives. We are lucky that now we have got an example, or we have got a number that has both the negatives and the positives. Let's look. How do we determine the answer? I will come and I write 7 positives. I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So therefore, I will ask myself, how will I come up with the right answer? Because I have on this side the negatives and the side of the positives. I must come up with one sign. either the negative answer or the positive answer. Take a look at how we're going to do this. We can pair them so that the positives will pair the dates. I will have the first one, we'll go with the first positive. So this positive has paid, the date is done. I will have another positive paying another date. Then from there, I have other positives to pay the dates. So from there, I will have this one paying this one. Before you conclude your answer, first count and see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are 4 dates. But from there, I need also cash of 4 to pay the dates. So meaning in the side of positives, I also have to remove the 4 positives to pay the 4 dates. So I will come and confirm 1, 2, 3, 4. Then finally, the dates are done, meaning I'm going to remain with some cash with me. I will count the positives or the negatives that have remained. I will have 1, 2, 3. So this one will be my answer, which will be 3. But guess out, could this be a negative or it will be a positive? I hope you can guess and see. Automatically on the side, these are just positives. Reason? They're in the side of the positives. But take a look and see. Can't I have the same question where I will have the answer in negatives? We can also check and see. When the negatives are more, you expect the answer in a different way. And when the positives are more, you expect the answer in the other way. I think we are starting to confirm. Let's look at the last example, which is example 7. I will have negative 5, then minus 3. Then I ask myself, the question given to me and this one, they are the same. But it has finally come out that could I conclude that the answer must be positive? Let's check out. Can it be either a positive or a negative? And how do we tell? At the moment, we said the first step, as our last example, we said the first step, if you have joined us and you have just started the lesson, we said the first example. We have done more examples up to example 6, and we are dealing with addition and subtraction of integers without a numbering. And remember, at the end of this lesson, we have our lesson exercise. Remember, the lesson exercise, we are just going to take a clear photo of the questions, write them, rewrite them well, answer them in a good, clean, and smart handwriting, be organized. Then I have my numbers on WhatsApp that we always interact from time after time, anytime, anywhere you are, and submit. I will mark and give you the feedback. So at the moment we are doing the last example. Take note of the procedures that we did with the number lines, that we did with the integers without using number lines. So just this last example, if you have just joined us in the middle, you will get us well so that you can do all other examples. When you look at the examples we have done, they are just different. But in example 1, 2, up to 6, they are just different. But the procedures don't change. Take a look at our example. We have negative 5 minus negative 3. But also, you're free to read this as negative 5, or you can say minus 5 minus 3. We say it together again. I said you can say negative 5 minus 3, or you can read it as minus 5 minus 3. At this moment, we said the first step is to rewrite the question or to rewrite the integers first. So our first step would be -5 minus 3. Why do we rewrite or writing again the integers? We said we are going to work out the first operation. And the first operation we said, look at your right hand side. What could be my right hand side? We say the integers on the right. Leave alone the first integer, or we can say the first number with its sign. Then look at the last integer. We said there is a digit, then with its sign. I say it again, that look at the integer on the right hand side. We don't call it the integer, say the digit, and we say there will be more digits. Then the sign for that digit, and group them as how we have done it, like this, so that we shall have the integer grouped with its sign. If you are noting somewhere, you can note it, that the last integer, then with its sign, group them. Then the next step would be to visit our guiding procedure or our guiding tool here. We said set them time after time. A negative sign times a negative sign, you get a positive sign. You say it again, a negative sign times a negative sign, you get a positive sign. Then a negative sign times a positive sign, you get a negative sign. A positive sign times a negative sign, you come up with a negative sign. Then finally, the common one is that a positive sign times a positive sign. I hope you can tell. Will automatically be the positive sign. So I will come and I have a negative with another negative. What would be the product of the two negative signs? We said negative times negative. Come over here and say negative times a negative. We come up with a positive. Leave the first integer. Then this will be plus 3. After confirming that, could my answer be a negative or a positive? I hope at this moment everyone can just tell. So we have negatives and we have the positives. So I can confirm with my next step. I can say positives. I can say negatives. When you look at this, of this step, the order does not matter. You can say positives first, then negatives last. Or you can say negatives first, then positives last. We don't need to cram them. Do it in the way you feel like. So I'm going to have the first integer. Those are negatives. I will come and I say, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So representing the first integer. So I have 5 negatives. Don't forget to count them and confirm so that we'll get the accurate answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then check out the next one that I'm adding there is a positive integer, and that is positive 3. I hope you know how to draw the positives. These were negatives. Then I come to the column of negatives and the positives. I will have positive 1, 2, 3. They are just 3. Then at this moment, we agreed that when you have cash, those are the positives. When you have a debt, those are the negatives. Can I use my positives to pay the debts? One positive pays one debt. Can we group them and we get the final answer? So I will have this positive will pay this debt. So I will have another cash of this positive paying this debt. Then from there, I still have cash and debts. This one will pay this. Then I'm done with the positives. At the shop, I've been paying one by one. And they are saying, we still need more money. Now what will I do? I will say, what has remained? I still have the debts. How many debts are there? 1, 2. I've remained with 2. So I will have 2. But check out what will be the sign. These are negatives, as they have remained in the column of negatives. Thank you so much for learning with me. Thank you so much for attending my lessons always every Wednesday at UBC Star TV Some program. At the moment, please allow me to share with you finally what we have learned. We have said that from the beginning that we are looking at addition and subtraction of the integers. Then, if you want to know more about how these positives and negative integers during addition and subtraction are done on the number line, please just go to your Google Play Store, download the Prime Learn app, register with us, and just get started. At the beginning, we said addition and subtraction of integers are done differently in the same way. Those are my contacts. Please don't forget that the Airtel line is for WhatsApp. Send me WhatsApp text. Please kindly, as we are interacting, let me know your name. You can say, my name is Nwagawa Jerome, Havard, Machinde Junior School, Kampala. Then you give me the school, your full name, the school name, the district name. Then you can go ahead and give me your class. Smartly write this work. Use your set instruments, long ruler, pencil, and be smart and organized with a pen. Then submit for marking. There is a lesson exercise for you there. Those who feel like you can answer, those are the numbers. Just take the photo of this. We shall get into my inbox and share with me what you have learned today. Examples, do them, do that exercise, and let me have it in the inbox, and we shall discuss and I mark you. I wish you the best of your time out there. Please observe the digits well and observe the signs before the digit or the digits, and copy well the mathematical statements. We shall share more time after time. Remember, I said in this pandemic season, UBC Star TV is there for you as the best solution for education and other programs. Don't go away. And please, at the moment, allow me appreciate those who always learn with me, who submit work for marking, and allow me greet or thank those people who always follow. And I know you are out there watching. Sandra Perry, editing, Machine Junior, and Jemima, our big man, Mr. Mukasa Patrick. Thank you so much. My brother, producer, Mr. Rodens, for this work, and Andrew, that you are doing for us at the UBC Star. Those are the best producers here. You can just get in touch with them. Thank you so much. Learning is anytime and anywhere. For Prime Learn and other programs of learning, share with me in my inbox and we shall talk together. The pandemic season is still on. COVID-19 is real. Stay safe and smart. I sign out. I remain Nwagawa Jerome, Havard, your teacher of mathematics. Have a nice time until we meet next time on Wednesday. Stay